What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel, Boss Life TV. I'm Latasha, Tasha, Indian Fairy, whatever you want to call me. I'm her, okay? So, I have my coffee this rising because I had a long weekend. I meant to vlog this weekend because I had an amazing event. Of course, the dogs want to come out. Every time I come and record, my neighbor dog just be checking for me. It was quiet, and then they come outside and bark at me. But anyways, I had an amazing event this weekend and I wanted to record, but I was so busy. I do other work behind the scenes outside of gardening and outside of the other things. I have an amazing life. I do a lot of things for Black women, just in general when it comes to changing laws and changing things for when it comes to maternal health. And so we had these healthcare physicians around the country come in, and it was a summit, and so I had the pleasure of helping out with the summit, which was amazing. But I am definitely going to start inviting you guys into my personal life pretty soon here, but it's been really hectic. Anyways, I'm coming on here because I want to talk about the mistakes I've made as a first-time gardener, and I'm kind of paying for it a little bit. And let me tell you why. All right, so when I first started gardening, I really didn't know too much about it. I didn't really read too many direction when it comes to how to garden. I just kind of went with my intuition and kind of went accordingly. I took guidance along the way, but again, I'm a trial and error type of girl. I like to make errors so I know how to grow in some areas. And don't get me wrong, I take advice from other YouTubers, but again, everyone lives in different atmosphere, different places. Everyone's situation is totally different, right? The sun is beaming, sun's coming out. So I started the garden, and one thing that I didn't realize when it comes to gardening, the first thing you want to do is make sure you have enough time, right? Time is important to plants. It's like a baby. You have to give a baby time. You have to nurture a baby. You have to make sure that it's getting its nutrients, it's getting watered. The baby needs to you need to make sure that a baby you have to be very attentive. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. And if you don't have that time, you might not have a thriving gardening you might not have a thriving gardening experience. And that's one thing that I'm learning. It's just because I've been gone for this last week just attending to other needs. I have neglected my plants. I haven't given it the water it needs. It's pretty high. It hasn't rained in about a good week here in Cincinnati, and so I have not been able to water the plants, give it plant food, fertilizer, whatever. Love on plants. Plants are human. I wouldn't say human. Sorry, y'all. I had a long week, so if I'm saying things off, I apologize. But I haven't been able to love on my plants because plants are energy. They feel, they're living, and so I have not been able to talk to my plants, love on my plants, nurture my plants. And so I've noticed that my growth has slowed down so much. And that's one thing that I want to get on here and let you guys know. If you have to have the time to be attentive to your garden, because if you don't, you are going to run into issues and problems. Take it from me, I feel like I'm running into issues. Like, I came back, my plant was getting ate up by bugs. I wasn't able to catch that problem ahead of time, and now it's costing me, right? But these are my cucumbers behind me, and as you can see, they're doing okay. I have some more growing right now, because I didn't realize, even with gardening, I didn't realize that each plant only can produce so much, right? And so I needed to produce probably like 9 to 10 more cucumber plants in order for me to get a really good harvest, because again, cucumbers and other things they might not come up. Some of them, you heard of a dud fireworks, like, oh, that was a dud. It can be like that. It can be a dud to where it'll try to come up and then it'll die, depending on the circumstances, and others might flourish. And so I didn't know that I needed to plant. I'm thinking one plant can produce maybe like 6 cucumbers. No, not in reality. I only produce, depending on how big it gets, 1 or 2 per plant, right? And I didn't know this information. The same thing with my arugula. Here's my arugula. right here, which is doing very well. They're not looking like I want it to look, but again, with my arugulas, you know, it's only so much that will thrive. So you need to, if you want to get a good harvest, you need to plant a lot. So I'm new to this whole gardening things, and I'm going to be easy on myself, but I didn't realize that, if you know, these are the things to take in consideration when you first start a garden. Like, you need to write down your goal. What's your goal? Is your goal is to feed your whole entire family for the winter time? Is your goal is to, you know, maybe try it out? Like me, my goal for gardening was to see if I can actually do it and see how much I can get from a harvest in fall, and then my next season I was going to double or triple the amount that I grew. I didn't even think that I was going to even become, you know, get this far. I'm actually shocked that I got this far when it comes to my gardening journey. But you know, my goal was to just start and figure it out along the way. And everyone has different goals, so you got to figure out what's your goal when it comes to gardening, and you need to move accordingly. If you're trying to feed your big family, you need to make sure you have the space for it, 2, have the patience, and 3, you have to be very attentive and the time for it. And so I'm going to take those things in consideration when it comes to gardening. Learning what plants work with what plants, because that's a thing too. It's called what they call it, comparison planting or something like that. Quote me if I'm wrong, but comparison planting is when you are able to put different type of plants around each other where they thrive off of each other and they grow, you know, and then some plants steal nutrients from the other plants. So you need to know what grows with what. I've noticed that my jalapeno plant kind of start growing really slow, and I'm like, why is my jalapeno plant growing so slow? But I realized that I was growing it next to something that was taking a lot of nutrients out of the soil, and so it was causing my jalapeno plant not to grow fast. So these are the researches, and this is the information that you need to get before you start a garden. And I said early on in my videos, I'm like, I'm not going to, you know, follow any other YouTubers and stuff like that. I really want to learn from myself. But honestly, you really kind of got to do your research, you know. And again, I'm one of them type people, I wouldn't say I'm hard-headed, but I'm like a trial and error type of girl. Like, you know, I'm one of them type people that will just learn on her own, bump her head, and then learn from her mistakes, you know. And everyone's not like that. So I say do your research, be patient, be attentive. And also, gardening is almost like a spiritual journey. It's a, like, when I tell you patience, everything takes time, everything takes patience. And so I actually was able to take the journey of gardening into my own personal life. Like, you need to water what you care about. You need to water yourself. You need to be patient when it comes to things. You are not going to get the fruit of your labor right then and there, because it takes work, it takes time, it takes development. And I had to realize that now, if I've never respect nature, which is a spider right on my thing, if I've never respect nature, I definitely respect nature now that I've started this gardening journey, because nature is patience, nature is gentle, nature is beautiful, nature is everything. And same thing with our life. We are nature, and we have to treat ourselves accordingly the same way. If you want to flourish in life, you definitely have to mimic what you see outside, literally outside in nature. You know, follow the trees, follow the plants, follow the birds. I'm telling you, if you place those things in your life, you will be successful, right? So consistency for me is getting up every day and vlogging. That's consistency for me. But I have to be patient. My channel's not gonna grow, you know, tomorrow, but I am patient enough that if I'm consistent, it will. Like, if I'm consistent enough with treating and nourishing this plant, it will eventually start developing fruits. It will definitely give you all the benefits. It takes patience. That's it. I ain't want to get on here and get preachy. I just want to tell you guys, if you are new to gardening, these are the things to maybe take in consideration for, just take these things in consideration, and I'm sure you will be successful. If you found this video helpful, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like, comment, and share with someone that is starting off with the gardening. And of course, I always say I'll see you in the next video. Peace.